Good girl. Good evening. The sun has set recently in the courtyard here at the Boathouse Jazz Cafe. It's a cold, windy, blustery, late February evening. And we are delighted to be here, hunkered down in the Boathouse Jazz Cafe. As always, we're always here. We don't ever go anywhere. Doesn't matter what it's doing outside. We don't really care one way or the other. We just come spend our time here doing what we do, all the kind of fun, zany, sleepy stuff that we do here at the Boathouse Jazz Cafe. I'm your host. I fixed my glasses. We're going to do something different. We're going to first, before the host is introduced, we are going to introduce our first mate. She's the lovely, ginger-haired, flowing, Pamawawa princess herself, Miss Phoebe du Soleil. Yes, liquor extraordinaire, first mate, and spirit guide for us here at the Boathouse Jazz Cafe. I'm your host, Mickey, the Flying Busman Mahan, resident barfly, guitar anti-hero, salty singer-songwriter, unapologetic poet, and badass bus driver. And sometimes I feel like I'm a bit of a salt lick also. But that's cool. We enjoy it all down here at the Boathouse. Whatever whatever happens down here is awesome. So, because it's a windy, wintry evening, Phoebe and I were flying our kite in here at the Boathouse a little earlier. So breezy. We had a nice box kite flying up here in the rafters. It's actually stuck in the rafters now. We got to get somebody in here with a cherry picker to get it down for us. So we're moving on to to different things here. And today, at the moment, what we're doing is we're going to share a song with you. But before we do that, we want to introduce the beverage of the day. You might have seen it here before, and it's the ideal drink for a very cold, wintry day like today. It is Jesse James Outlaw, American Outlaw Bourbon. Really good for the chill of the bones of a day like today. Isn't it, Phoebe? That's right, yeah. Yes, it is. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to take it right out of the bottle, because what happens is when you drink it out of the bottle as opposed to pouring it in the glass, which we typically do and we enjoy, you drink it out of the bottle, what you're getting is the soul of the whole bottle in one slug. And that's really what you need on an icy, windy, wintry evening. Cheers. Oh, yeah. Phoebe, try some of this. Yeah. That's the soul of Jesse James Outlaw Bourbon. Today's song, it's inspired by an incident or situation many years ago. At the New York State Fair, they used to have a burlesque show, in addition to what they call the freak show. Neither one of those exist anymore, and they have not for a long time. They are no longer in fashion, apparently. So you can't go to a burlesque or a freak show at the State Fair anymore, but at one time you could. And for the burlesque show, you had to be the ripe old age of 16 to be able to get into this tent that they set up to watch the burlesque acts. They were strippers, they called them burlesque. And they had this makeshift stage and an old turntable where they played scratchy, bump and grind music, and it was really quite a treat for a 14-year-old who managed to get his hands on some identification that said he was, I don't know how old, maybe 25 or 30. The guy at the gate didn't care. You could have shown him your Mickey Mouse Club card, he would have let you in. But we got in. Watched the burlesque show, and it was quite something, really, for a young fella, young whippersnapper. So that inspired this song. It's called Dollar Bills in Her Garter. And so, in the event that you don't know, what the patrons in places like that do, I'm told, is throw dollar bills up onto the stage in appreciation for the woman and her dancing expertise, or they stand along the stage and insert the bills in her garter themselves. So we call this one Dollar Bills in Her Garter. I'm going to get our guitar here, Phoebe, and we're going to strap this baby on, like we like to do. We're going to take one more little slug of our Jesse James bourbon. Want some more? Want some more? You had enough. This dog's a lot. Phoebe Du Soleil is a lot smarter than we are. So here we go. Here we go. You want to try a little more? Yeah? No. You want to get the drippings off my chinny chin, don't you? And my nosy nose. All right, here we go. We call this one. What did we call this one again? Dollar Bills in Her Garden. Phoebe is going to jump ship. Like she typically does when the music starts. Oh, well, here we go. She's headed for the other room. She'll probably close the door and put the pillow over her head, but well, whatever. Her hair just right for the crowd tonight. Stepping up to the stage from darkness to light. Shadow penciled in under her eyes. An empty seat is the only surprise. Each face imitates the one it sees. She unzips and discards to keep everyone pleased. Speakers in the ceiling restrain the song. When nothing goes right, nothing goes wrong. I'm gonna buy me a mountain. I'm gonna buy me a sea. I'm gonna drink from that fountain. Steleo came to see. I'm gonna buy me a heaven. I'm gonna buy me a hell. With the dollar bills in this garter, everything is going to be well. Square cocktail napkins are easily unfolded. Atmosphere like character is always molded. Beer disappears in a sip and a swallow. What isn't solid has got to be hollow. Jack found a giant at the top of the beanstalk. Helen Keller used her heart to learn how to talk. Napoleon froze his fingers in the Russian snow. Dorothy clicked her heels to get back home. I'm gonna buy me a mountain. I'm gonna buy me a sea. With the dollar bills in this garter, I'm gonna drink from that fountain. Leo came to see. I'm gonna buy me a heaven. I'm gonna buy me a hell with $1 bills in this garter. Everything is going to be well. She stroked her hair with her long fingernails. She shook her bare arms till an old man turned pale. Round her red tongue around her red lips. Sent a shiver through the crowd with her fleshy hips. 2 a.m. dressed, a lot of bills in her purse. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Easy to say, but hard to believe. A wish still dancing in the space where she breathes. I'm gonna buy me a mountain. I'm gonna buy me a sea. I'm gonna drink from that fountain. Leo came to see. I'm gonna buy me a heaven. I'm gonna buy me a hell with $1 bills in this garter. Everything is going to be well. Wow, we got a little shaky there in the middle of the song, but I think we recovered okay. $1 bills in her garter, inspired by an afternoon at the state fair a long time ago. Our first mate has abandoned ship, as she is wont to do when the music starts. I think she's probably hunkered down in the adjacent tap room, having a drink of her own and maybe listening to the jukebox. But you're welcome to come and join us and jump ship whenever you like or not. It's up to you, right? All you've got to do is listen. BYO if you want to. We got a fridge of good beer and a cupboard of booze, so you don't have to BYO. But what you do have to do if you want to come is listen. Put your ear to your heart and listen. And when you're listening and your love are inseparable, you have arrived at the Boathouse Jazz Cafe. Until next time, cheers.